He is the world's only lovable technology journalist. It says so on Google+.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
So here's Mike.
So we thought it would be fun to bring Mike in on Skype because we really want him in studio. But I just wanted to at least introduce him here today until, we told him we want you to start working next year, and I don't think he's stopped working since we've talked and brought him on board. So I'd like to welcome Mike Elgan and introduce him to you as our new news director and our anchor of Tech News Today.
Welcome, Mike.
Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to start in this new role, and I've always been a huge fan. Everybody who follows me or reads me knows that I'm probably the biggest TWiT fanboy there is, and I'm just really excited.
Mike, when did you start covering technology?
Well, let's see, probably in around 1991. I was hired from a newspaper to prepare a magazine called Windows Magazine to be acquired by a publisher. So I came in and we had this small, scrappy little startup, and we were acquired. I moved to New York, and we basically were part of the big computer magazine phenomenon of the 90s. The whippersnappers today don't have any idea how crazy it was before the internet really provided all of our information needs. And people used to go to newsstands, buy, if you don't know what a magazine is, it's basically a blog made out of trees. You'd have to go and buy it, or a mailman would bring it to you. And, we used to publish 420-page magazines. Right. It was just something
Half
else.
of them advertisements, I might add. It was a very lucrative business. I worked for Ziff Davis. Yep. Were you IDG? Who were you?
We were CMP. So CMP is,
right.
Yeah, CMP had a gazillion business publications, and we were their big consumer publication. Right. So Windows Magazine we were in the top 3 with PC Mag and PC World.
Right.
And PC Computing was in there somewhere, but all 4 of these publications just were massive. I mean, we used to send 25 full-time staffers to Comdex.
Right.
And we had a staff of 62, I think, something like that. But it was a crazy time. Fortunately, the internet came along and really just sort of replaced paper, computer magazines. So
it's too early to ask you what you want to do with TNT, but we've never wanted to say, okay, we're going to unplug Tom and plug in Mike. That doesn't seem fair to either party. So we're asking and giving Mike the chance to work with the team, Jason Howell and Sarah Lane and Ayaz Akhtar, to recreate TNT, to make it a new show. Do you want to talk? Is it too early to talk about what you'd like to see happen?
No, I don't think it's too early. I've been thinking about nothing else since we talked. We're entering into a kind of a radical new era of computing, where sort of the desktop market is going away. Mobility is even going to be challenged by wearable devices. There are all kinds of privacy implications. This whole new world of big data and sensors everywhere, and everybody's being tracked. And the stakes. It's no longer just gadgets and toys. It's still lots of gadgets and toys, and we all love them. But there's just so much information to process, and there's so much information overload. There's so much bad information out there. So I think, a part of the mission, in this next year is to really help people every day just sort of make sense of what's happening in technology and what's happening in technology media. Because, the average technology fan needs some perspective about why they're hearing what they're hearing, and also some guidance about how to think about technologies, contextualize it. Just there's so much going on in technology, and technology is no longer a little niche for enthusiasts anymore. It's really, there's nobody who's outside of the world. Everybody should be deeply interested in multiple aspects of technology, from programming to education, to surveillance, to location-based marketing. All these things, all these issues touch pretty much everybody. So we've really got our work cut out for us to grow the audience and contextualize this amazing world that we're seeing coming into being over the next year or two.
One thing, Mike, that Tom does very well is interact with the audience. There's a subreddit. Tom's very much part of the chat room. Do you plan to continue to do that?
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's completely vital, and I want the show to be very experimental. And I've been talking to the staff about this a little bit, but we really want to invent what a news program for technology enthusiasts should be, and that's going to involve, it's not just the whole concept, the whole television concept of one-to-many communication where we tell you and you listen. That's gone, and it should be gone. We really need it to be a constant conversation with the audience, and the audience is really part of the content, and it has to be, and it should be. So we're going to be looking at all kinds of new ways to do that. Good. With all the major social networks. The chat room is still, it's old school, but it's still really, really cool, and I'm looking to figure out ways to sort of use the chat room more as part of the live broadcast. But also, there's social media and new social things popping up all the time. Wearable computing is going to put eyeballs everywhere, and maybe there's some way we'll be able to take advantage of that as well.
Well, I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that Mike is going to be joining our new Tech News Tonight show as well. He's going to be one of the anchors on that, and we'll have some oversight on the full direction of it.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about that. Do you want to tell people, Lisa, what that is?
Well, I was going to cover that, and I wanted to pull Jerry up here.
Okay,
because
we have its producer.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
So do you want to do this now with Mike here? And Mike.
You want to stick around, Mike, a little bit,
Sure.
or do you need to run? Okay.
I can stick around.
Okay.
Well,
and we should
Jerry-
mention Mike is going to be on TWiT on Sunday. It's going to be Dvorak, Mike, and me. And then on Wednesday with This Week in Google. So you'll have lots of chances to go ahead and have a seat, Jerry. You have lots of chances to hear more from Mike. And if you, I think most people know by now, but Mike really became probably the #1 guy on Google Plus very early on. And so there's no question in my mind that in terms of using new media and social media, Mike has paved the way. He's really been a trailblazer. So that was absolutely a big part of it, is that we knew that we could expect Mike Elgan to actually push us forward.
Right.
Because this is not just about a change at TNT or a news director. This is really about a station-wide change at TWiT. We want to change everything. We want to reinvent TWiT to make it more useful and more on top of things. It's part of our evolution from just a couple of podcasts, little hobby podcasts that I did in the attic, to being a full-service technology, news, and information and how-to network. And I think we can do that.
Right.
And I think Mike's going to make a big difference.
Well, and one of the things we're trying to do too is we're trying to evolve and have this studio be a live studio. So the addition of Tech News Tonight is to bring an evening news show here. It's going to be at 4 o'clock. Pacific time and 7 o'clock Eastern time. And the idea is to make this a short format show so that it can give people a little update as to what has happened after TNT, but also have different elements to it. So we have brought on a new producer. Welcome, Jerry. I just told him today he's going to be on air.
He's a behind-the-scenes kind of guy. Actually, I've known Jerry since Tech TV days, where he worked in the promo department with us. And he's been working for, how long have you been working already on Tech News Tonight? For several weeks. Yeah. So what's going on? How's it working?
Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, learning this is
Talk into the microphone. You can tell he's...
working. Is that working?
Yeah, now it is.
But yeah, I mean, this show is going to be a shorter version of TNT. And there's things that happen between when TNT happens to when TN2 happens. So this will be a vehicle to update those stories and to also bring us a little bit more in depth on at the back half of the show. We'll have 2 segments. The first is a rundown of what the top news of happens of the day, and then the second segment will give us a deep dive into the top stories of the day.
Great.
And what we're going to do, it's not going to be all Mike. we're going to have many of our hosts
Right.
participate as anchors for several reasons. One, to get everybody on the air doing this, but also to get unique perspectives every day.
Right.
That's very different. And that's not something that ever happens on broadcast. On broadcast, you have the show's host. But we feel like we have a great team here of really talented people with unique perspectives, and I want to give every one of them a chance to do the show.
Right, so what we've decided to do is we needed to have one common producer, so Jerry has been brought in so everybody knows what's going on throughout the week.
We need
Now
some
that-
continuity, yeah.
Agreed. So we had originally 5 TWiT hosts that were on board for this. We have, Aya Zakhtar and Sarah Lane, Father Robert, Shannon is also going to be on this, and Jason. So
Wow,
that
that's
was
a lot.
how
And
we,
maybe me once in a while. Can I do it?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
the idea was that we would have Leo on it once in a while, but
And,
now that
and maybe
Mike
this
has
guy too
joined
once in a while.
the team, I definitely want Mike in the actual
Yeah.
the lineup of it. So we're going to work on the actual schedule and how this is going to work, but it will also have the oversight and direction from Mike Elgan because that's why we brought him on board.
Yeah.
So we're going to start out. I believe we have an agenda, but I've thrown the monkey wrench in it by adding Mike to the team. So we're going to work out the details with Mike next week as to how we set up the rotation of the hosts.
Another big part of our news operation, and it's one of the most popular things we do, in fact, it's probably the most popular thing we do, is our breaking news coverage. When Steve Jobs passed away, we immediately stopped what we were doing and started covering that, and we did so for several hours. It's one of the most watched things we've ever done. Of course, the Apple announcements, huge, much bigger than any other show that we do. We want to do more of that, and Mike's going to be helming that effort as well.
Agreed. I think Mike needs to step into that role, and we need to identify what's breaking news, as well as when things like Steve Jobs passes away, how we switch and go into that. I have pretty much jumped in and played producer in a lot of these as things have happened down the road, but my goal is to turn this over to Mike and of
Lisa
course,
can't do
support him.
everything here.
I like to do a lot,
Only
though.
most of the things. Mike, let me ask you about this because, as I mentioned, for a long time it was the globe hopping Mike Elgan. Are you giving up travel? What's going to happen?
Well, for a while, yes. I mean, our most recent sojourn was in Florence, Italy, and we came back because my wife's cousin got married. So we came back to the U.S. for that, and then I found out my son was going to get married, and so we've been kind of sticking around and doing a little bit of wedding planning. And now that I'm going to be news director at TWiT, we're just going to stay put and live in Petaluma for I didn't even think about travel for the next 6 months or so. And eventually we'd like to do reporting at tech events around the world, occasionally, the big ones, and also technology hotspots where there's some really interesting things going on. And maybe I'll anchor the show from those places, but we're not going to do that right away. We're gonna work up to that, but I'll be in studio full time, and I think that's just really how it has to be.
At least for now.
Well, I agree.
What's really true about TWiT, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but more than a third of our audience is outside of the U.S. And we really look like a U.S.-centric operation. I don't want to be. We live in a global environment where everything that has to do with tech happens all around the world, and our audience is all around the world. So what we plan to do is have Mike be our global news anchor and news director. And if I gave him as an example, if there's a flood in Thailand and hard drive production disappears, he's going to be in Thailand. I want to have him do some reports from Shenzhen, China, and talk about manufacture there. That's become the factory of the world. So we are a global network, and we're going to start acknowledging that in ways that we just really haven't been able to do before.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think that this is a great foray where TWiT is becoming more.
Your mic is not. Can you turn on Jerry's mic?
It is.
Can you turn it up, please?
Eat it. Yes. There you go.
It's not on. I'm sorry. It's not on. The Anderson Cooper of tech is actually the analogy that Mike used. But this time, it won't be a phony. I'm here in front of in New Orleans in front of. It will actually be real. This is the thing about Mike that I know so well. Here's a guy who does his research, does his legwork, has the context, thinks out of the box, thinks originally, and really can give us insight. And so if he goes to Shenzhen, China, it won't just be to say, I'm standing in front of a factory in China. It will be to get a story and to bring us that story.
I'll be in there building iPhones. I'll be wearing a bunny suit.
He's got very delicate fingers. I don't know if
Yes,
everybody
I'll be
knows that.
testing the suicide nets personally.
Yes. So,
So-
Jerry was going to say something. I think we got our mic working now.
This is just a great opportunity for TWiT, where we're building the resources, the news resources here, and having Mike on and this new show, TN2. So it's just the next step. I mean, tech news is where we're going.
Right. And as somebody said, nobody really wants Anderson Cooper to show up in their town. But I think when Mike Elgan shows up, it won't be necessarily bad news. That's why we like this beat, Mike, because it's really good news. It's actually fascinating stuff that nobody does.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody have any more questions for Jerry, or can we let him go? Chat room, do you have anything you want to know about Jerry and tech news tonight? Not about Ozzy.
Sleep on the pillows.
I told you if I just gave him a chance, he'd find the TWiT pillows. D for 27 says, how do you stand on, quote, access journalism, Mike?
Yeah, I actually have a bit of a stand on that.
What is access journalism, first of all?
Access journalism is when, and you know, some of the journalist celebrities that we read and see tend to be access journalists oftentimes. What it is you kind of mingle with your sources, essentially. You go hobnob and go to the events and hang out with and essentially befriend people in the industry, and that gives you access to certain types of information. I personally am not against access journalism or journalists. They provide a role. I personally am against it, and I actually go out of my way to not get too cozy with the industry, simply because I guess in a way it's just an old-fashioned journalism kind of thing. This is a real problem. We're all familiar with it in Washington, D.C. The political press is all about access journalism, and everybody wants to go to the cocktail parties and stuff. And it's just not the right way to do it, at least for the kind of things that I like to do in terms of reporting. It's better to be objective and to see the world from the point of view of the user instead of the industry. And that's oftentimes, I think, is the risk with access journalism. You start to look at the industry as being the highly visible, important part of the equation, and you see the user as a kind of abstraction. I'm totally with the user, and I'd like to make sure that I always see journalism and news coverage from the user's point of view, and the industry people are sources, and they're not, not my friends.
And boy, when you hear Mike say that, you know that's exactly my philosophy. It's always been my philosophy. I see our job as adversarial. We represent the user, and our job is to get, in a somewhat adversarial situation, get the story out of these companies. But to ultimately, there is only one audience for TWiT, and that's the user, because we're all users.
We're all users.
First and foremost. Yeah. So well said. I think that's a good answer, and that's exactly how I feel. Oddly enough.
Excellent.
Mike, we're going to let you go. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Really excited. We'll see more Mike again on Sunday and on Wednesday, and starting January, 6th?
Second.
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 Ooh, you're starting early.
Yep.
All right.
Well, that's not early. that's when I need them to
Thanks,
start.
Mike. Really,
Mike.
really happy to have you on board. Welcome.
I'm
Yes.
happy as well.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And you too, Jerry. We're so thrilled to have you, and I'm very excited.
you.
We've decided, the chat room has decided, Tech News Today will be abbreviated TN2N. Tech News Tonight, I should say.
No, it's TN2.
No, there's technical reasons why it has to be 2N.
Why?
It can't end with a number.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
okay.
The chat room figured this out, and they're absolutely right. We were actually wondering this. Because of the way our URLs work, the next thing is the number
fine.
of the show. So it has to be TN2N 001 002.
Well, I'll still call it TN2.
You can
but
call
that's
anything you want.
fine. Right.
And it
So-
will be on. It will be
go ahead.
on Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday. What
Questions
time?
was when from at 4 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific.
Okay.
Other way around. 4 o'clock
Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Okay.
Every day of the week.
And that's
Friday.
conveniently, that's about 11 p.m. UTC. What we recognize is there is no prime time for TWiT.
Right.
If you're a global network, it's prime time everywhere. At any given time is prime time. So
But I like the balance. I mean, we have Tech News today at 10 o'clock.
basically, we want to
and
cover
I'd
both
like
ends of the day.
Well, it's just a quick update on anything maybe that's happened. And in addition to that, there will be a deep dive on anything that was a popular story. So this may be, it's going to be a different format than Tech News today.
Right.
It's one host. And we have different formats for the deep dive. So there will be perhaps, a debate between two people, a pro and con against something. There may be just an expert that's brought in to give their opinion on something.
Right.
So the idea is that we'll have different variations of the second segment. And I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's a chance to get the headlines, get a quick hit. How long will it be, Jerry, do you think, the show?
Somewhere between 5 to 7 minutes. So
Okay,
it's
do you get
a
that?
lot
Very, very fast. It's not going to be like TNT. It's going to be a quick hit, something you can quickly listen to and know what happened in that day, and get some deep analysis on a particular topic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
A lot of tech news does happen between
Yeah.
TNT and
Yeah.
then you have the next day. So that was the sort of the impetus for this show in the afternoon.
We've thought about this for probably 3 years. Lisa has wanted to do this.
Yeah, we've been.
Yeah.
Leo and I have been debating about it. He thought it would take away from Tech News today, and my attitude is it will enhance Tech
Actually,
News
I wanted
today.
to do it too. I
'Cause
wanted
if
to do it at 1
something-
o'clock.
Right, if something broke.
Yeah.
If something
need to do
happened
it.
afterwards.
Yeah.
So I really just felt that if we did this, then it's getting to our audience quickly, something that's happened, and we bring in the experts to help back that up. So I really liked this tidbit update.
And know that, Greg D., we will not stop having open studio. Our studio is open still.
Our studio's always open.
Unless there's a shooting or something else. We're going to knock on wood. We're going to continue
we'll
allowing
always
you to
have an
come
open
by
studio.
anytime you want. I think it's very important to our ethos that we don't want there to be a wall between us and our audience.
And
we
that's
want
part
it to be
of why we're bringing this back. We want people in studio.
Yeah.
We want our anchors here. So this is part of another reason why we want them here.
Yeah. I'm really excited about this direction. And
I'm very excited.
Jerry, welcome. It's good to
Thank you,
it's good
Jerry.
to
All
have
right,
you.
we'll let Jerry go now.
What is our next item on the rundown, Ms.
Well,
Kensel?
we actually jump around, but that's okay. What I wanted to do was give just everybody a quick overview for the update on the shows, because we've had a couple of things that have happened since announcing this. So we've updated our changes for our 2014 calendar. I don't know if we can pull that up and show it. Some things that are happening next year is that BYB is going to be transitioning. That's Before You Buy, to Father Robert.
He's going to host it. I'm not going to.
You're
I'll
not gonna
continue
host
to
it,
reviews, of
but,
course.
But Leo will still do reviews for that. Leo will do I'm sure still the products, the marquee products that come out. So Leo will still be on this show, but we'll just transition the hosting duties over to Father Robert.
Right.
And then Leo is stepping away from the Gizwiz, and that will be transferred over
That's
to
a
Chad.
heartbreaker. That's a really hard
That-
one for me to leave behind.
Yeah, that was a real
And I
hard
know
one.
that's going to be hard for a lot of us, and it's certainly hard for Dick. But there's a few reasons we're going to do that. One is I'm trying to cut back so that I have 2 days off in a row, and I only do 10 shows a week.
Well, and part of it too is that we need Leo also available to do other things on this network,
Yeah.
help review new shows, look at new talent. So if Leo's on air 25 hours out of the week, he gets no time to contribute to the other aspects of TWiT, and that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, and this is the schedule, by the way, at inside.twit.tv, so you don't have to memorize what we're saying. But yeah, so
Right.
Chad will be a great host
I
on the
think, yeah.
Gizwiz. I mean, he did a great job filling in for me, and I'm gonna, I'll be around and I'll
Right.
pop in. Believe me, I'm not gonna let Dick get away with anything. He's gonna continue appearing on the radio show. He's gonna continue to do the Gizfizz on Saturday afternoons.
Right. So Dick's still definitely on
we
our
love
network.
Dick. Yep.
So the other thing is that, as you all know or may not know, Frame Rate is going to be off of our network at the end of this month. Their last episode will be the best ofs on December 23rd.
That was not our choice. Tom declined to continue, even though we did, I think, make him a fair offer. And Brian, understandably, didn't want to do it without Tom. Now, here's the good news. I think they're going to do it on another network. So you can watch something like Frame Rate with Tom and Brian somewhere else.
Right.
But we do feel like a cord cutter show is really important. We think that a lot of you are cord cutters. That's why you watch TWiT. And we think that a show that is about cord cutting is absolutely going to be part of the lineup. So we're going to work hard to find hosts and do something like Frame. We might call it Frame Rate. We probably won't.
Right.
But if you
Maybe.
subscribe to the Frame Rate feed, it will appear there.
Right.
So you'll get that show automatically when it comes out.
And this is part of why we want Leo off of doing all these shows. He can't help create and develop new shows if he's constantly on air. So
Well, and I have a very
Yeah.
bad habit. Every show we do, I go, oh, I want to do that show.
yeah.
I want to do that show.
Yeah.
I want to
And
be
that's
on that
okay.
one.
He should be able to do any show he wants to do, but he also needs to have some time.
Frame Rate is a good show. We really did want to keep doing that show.
Right.
But understandably, Tom didn't want to, and Brian didn't want to do it without Tom. We own Frame Rate. We own the name. We know the show concept. That is a TWiT program. However, I got to say, I don't, out of respect for Tom and Brian, I don't want to. We probably won't reuse the name, the show theme, or any of that stuff. And the show will be a little bit different because
It'll be very different.
I think that their show was partly about cord cutting, but also a lot about TV, and we might reframe it a little bit more toward the cord cutting side of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the other thing, and this was rather a recent item, is that This Week in YouTube is going to go on hiatus.
This is sad too, but
Yeah. but it's
Lamar said he
okay.
didn't want to keep doing it, and I completely understand. Lamar has a very, he's got a lot of, he's decided to go daily on YouTube. He's got a lot of work to do. And because he was doing the show, Chad was his co-host, but Lamar was putting the show together, it's really too much to ask. And also, frankly, it wasn't getting a lot of traction. And
Well-
I've talked a little bit about why I think that is, but
And so some people have been asking me, are we canceling the show completely? Are we doing a redesign? I mean, this came up so suddenly that we need some time to think about it and look at possibly relaunching the show next year, or considering maybe that we're going to cancel it. So right now we have made no decisions about it. I really like the show. I like the show concept. I think maybe it could be a shorter show, and maybe bring in some other YouTube talent. But we need some time to kind of go through that and understand what's going to make sense moving forward.
yeah.
So that show is definitely going to be on hiatus for a while. But, we are launching Tech News Tonight, as we just announced. That will begin on January 13th. It's on a Monday. It's a Monday through Friday show at 4 o'clock. And the other show that we're launching is Coding 101. That's going to launch on January 9th. And that will be on Thursdays at 1:30.
That's our programming
So,
show. That's how to learn
yeah.
how to program. I'm
And
very excited about
They have
that.
it in beta right now.
Shannon Morse will be on with Padre, Father Robert Ballister. He's going to
Yes.
teach her to program. 8-week modules, different. We think this may change in time. We're betaing it right now, but 8-week modules with different languages each week. Experts. It'll be about coding for the non-programmer. I think it's going to be great.
I think
I'm very
it's going to be
excited
great.
about it.
So we're really excited about that coming on board. And so that will launch on time. Both of these shows are ready to go on time. So we're pretty excited about both.
We are still planning a travel tech show with Johnny Jett. That we haven't done a lot on that one.
We've got quite a few shows.
We have quite a few shows in the works. It's tricky because you don't want to launch too many shows too fast, and also it's hard to find great hosts. I
Well, we
think
just
one of
wanna
the
make sure
things
we
that's going to
launch the right
happen,
shows,
over 2014 is that we are going to really, as best we can, we have limited resources, staff up so that we can do a better job with news, a better job with the shows we're already doing, and add new shows because we're not done yet.
I would say we have 4 shows that are in development right now. So we've just got to work on
Yeah.
fine-tuning those.
Yeah.
And what else? We have so much going on right now. So we do have some employee updates. I mean, we've already announced one, but we do have a new editor.
Victor Bognot,
Yes, he joined us this week, so we're really
Emmy
excited.
award-winning Victor Bognot.
I think he's under nomination.
Oh, he's nominated?
He's nominated for 2 Emmys.
So that'll be two of our editors are nominated for or have Emmys.
Yes, so we're really excited. He joined the team this week, and he's in training, of course, and getting up to speed on what we do. But I think he's going to fit in very well. We're really excited to have him. And the other thing is we are looking for a full-time sysadmin. Now, we have Bear. We love Bear. Don't get me wrong, but we need somebody in studio too. So Bear's still going to be, of course, with us, but we definitely need somebody that can be in studio. And we do have that job posting on our blog posting on our main page. So please take a look if you can, consider this position, if you think you can fit it, but you have to live here, not in Petaluma, but you have to be local and be willing to come into the studio. That's going to be an important part.
Bruce S. is right. That is the Lazy Tech Guys, Victor Bognot. He did a show.
Yes.
Still does a show, I think, called Lazy Tech Guys.
Yeah.
So somebody just said, and I thought that's a great idea, how about, I think Mr. Mike said, how about a science versus conspiracy show? I would love to do something like that. We have not given up on doing science programming. I think it's really important. and we're just looking for shows to do, and that's going to absolutely happen, I think. What else was I going to...
I like how the Hitman's saying, can we get more shows on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I would love to. I think Friday and Saturday have positions open, and now we have positions open for Monday. So, absolutely. I mean, that might be a great day. And yes, I think Adam Curry would be great for that show.
He'd be obviously the conspiracy side, not
I
the
think he'd be
science side.
awesome for that show.
Yeah. And I know people love John C. Dvorak, and every time I see him, I offer him a job, and every time we see him, he says no.
I'm going to offer him a job on Sunday with a bottle of Bordeaux, and I think I have a better shot.
Wine Talk with
Getting
John
him
C.
on the-
Dvorak. Oh, not the show, just you'll give him a bottle of Bordeaux and then say, can you come to work for us?
Oh, absolutely.
I
know-
would-
I
I
know
really
how that
wanna-
works with John.
I really
want to
get John on TWiT. But the problem is he's doing quite well with the No Agenda show, so there's not much incentive. So please stop donating to the No Agenda show. No.
That'll get him out of there.
I'm kidding.
Bad.
Tech news and know-how not out the window. What? I don't know what you're talking about, Bill Hicks. Obviously,
news
know-how
and
is a great show
know-how.
for us. It's getting
Oh,
better all
Know-how's
the time.
doing
In fact, once I left
phenomenal.
that show, it started to really take off.
Yeah, we just had to get Leo off the show.
That's
and
all.
It worked great.
Yep. If you,
I'm just teasing. So can I?
yes, continue on.
Can I keep moving?
Keep moving.
I'm trying to hustle because we got the hams coming on, and I don't want them to get all upset. So let's talk about our New Year's Eve party. So Karsten, can I get you over here? We have a couple things to talk about with Karsten. Number one, I want to talk about the New Year's Eve party. And number two, I want to talk about the CES coverage that he is also going to be doing. So Karsten gets no vacation over Christmas vacation.
I will be working
and
very
he'll
hard.
be working New Year's, and he'll be working probably through the 14th. And his family understands they're not going to see him for probably 4 weeks, but that's okay. He said he'll make up for it after and before.
That's the plan. So yeah, so for New Year's Eve, we have guests from almost every time zone in the world coming on to talk to Leo.
Great.
We're missing
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
See, we don't tell Leo anything. This is
That's
why.
fantastic. So there's 27 time zones.
Yes.
We're missing Russia.
Oh, we
Apparently
can get somebody
Russia.
from Russia.
We need if anybody from Russia or any
Chat room.
Which part of
Any-
Russia? Russia has like 18 time zones.
anywhere in Russia.
Anywhere.
Anywhere in
guys.
Russia or any of the former Soviet republics.
Okay.
Okay, chat room, you've got your
We
homework.
really need that.
That's
we
awesome.
would really like someone from Greenland.
Okay.
And we need a couple more people from Hawaii and
That-
Brazil.
Does it say, no, we have twit.tv/NYE for New Year's Eve.
Yes.
Does it say there who we've already got, or is it just sign up?
Just sign up.
Yeah, so go ahead and sign up, but we may already have somebody in that area. There's the people we're looking for. But
hey,
please
we
go
want
to
backups because somebody may
Oh, yeah.
drop
Oh, yeah.
off, so please
If you're
sign up.
from anywhere else, also. Sign-ups are still open.
twit.tv/NYE. And this is going to be really fun because what we're going to do is going to have a video Skype call with you and count down with you your New Year's Eve wherever you are. That way, everybody who watches gets 27 countdowns.
And we're going to actually rig up balloons in a net, and we're going to drop them, and then the staff has to run around and pick up the balloons and put them back up so we can drop them again.
We will have a balloon drop, 27 balloon drops, 27 glasses of champagne, and Lisa's promised me 27 kisses.
Oh, at least.
I'm most excited for 10 a.m. the 10 a.m. hour Pacific because there is a New Year's Eve in I think it's Pakistan at 10 a.m.
Man, I'm so excited.
And, Kathmandu at 10:15.
Oh.
And then India at 10:30.
Boom, boom, boom. 15-minute segments. Hey, we
so-
will put this on somehow on demand later. I mean, this is not going to be only live. We certainly encourage you watch
will try
live.
to record it, and I don't know if we can record.
It's a long
24 hours.
recording. We'll have to divide. We'll have to chunk
The
it
idea
up.
was that we were only going to do this live, but maybe we can chunk it up and try to record it. That would be
Justin TV, of course.
because we got to get the best
Always
subs
records
out of
it,
this.
yeah.
So okay, engineering department, are you hearing me? Find out how you can record 24 hours and store it so we can go through it.
Yeah, just get a couple extra hard
And
drives.
hey, wait, can we talk about like who is going to be on?
We have
I know of a few.
Some surprises. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised.
we have all of our Tech TV guests hosts are going to be on.
Good. I think we have a bad mic. Yeah.
Gina will not be on because she's going to be busy.
Even for that, she won't come on?
No, she's too busy. But pretty much almost all of our other hosts are going to pop in throughout the day.
Awesome.
We've got Brian Brushwood is going to be doing a magic show.
At great
He's gonna
expense,
be
we have
in
flying him
studio.
up.
Yes, he's going to be in studio, doing what he's most famous for, doing an amazing magic show.
Oh, I'm excited about that. This is going to be jam-packed 24 hours.
But we have more going on. I mean, I know there's so much more.
I'm
added to this
excited.
lineup,
What
so-
we did, which was Lisa's idea, very clever, we divided it into 3 producers, each taking an 8-hour segment, and they're competing.
I'm not taking any credit for that. I think that was Chad or somebody else's idea.
Competing for the
I just
best
said
8-hour
fine.
segment. And there will be a large cash prize for the best 8-hour segment as determined.
Is there?
I just made it up.
Okay.
Determined by the chat room.
Cool.
I'll put that in the budget.
It can come out
And
of my
who's
pocket.
who's gonna announce a winner at the end?
I'll be asleep.
Whoever's standing.
I got
Last
it.
man standing announces the winner.
I'll announce the winner.
And
I'll
by
be
the way,
judge.
shows that are scheduled for that time period, the Tuesday time period, will be on.
Yes, all those
Yes.
shows will still be on.
So we'll do a GizWiz, we'll do an NSFW. All of those shows are going to be on.
Yep.
Yes. And we have people that are going to be in studio. I mean, I know that Steve Gibson's coming up. Scott Wilkinson's going to be in studio.
So exciting.
We've got to fly Dick out here.
We have to fly
He's
Dick
got to
out.
come out here.
A show
So I've
like that
gotta-
wouldn't be any good without
I've got to
Dick.
reach out to him and see if he can come out
Yeah.
before he goes to CES. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great New Year's Eve, and we're letting people, come by,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
So it's going to be
absolutely.
an open studio.
If it's really crowded, we may rotate people in and out. I mean, so we just if you come up, be a little bit understanding. We should probably ask people to email tickets
Please
at
email
twit.tv.
tickets at twit.tv. We'll try to get
And then
you
we can
in.
stage you in, because if there's 500 people, we can't have you all in the studio at the same
Now,
time.
aren't
so.
we having a jumpy put outside for 24 hours or something? Or inside somewhere? We have a back
We
warehouse.
have enough room for a jumpy
Absolutely.
Not in here.
in the
but
alley.
I think back in the warehouse.
Or in the
we can
warehouse.
have a jumpy. So
I
there'll
think
be something.
that's one way I could stay awake.
There will be something for kids to do here, because
Yes.
I'm going to have a kid here, so I know a bunch
I'm
of
going
kids
to
are
have
going to be
2
here.
kids here.
Oh, and we're also going to be building a giant Lego, and so I think Jeffrey Needles is in charge of that.
He's going
but
to build the Tower of London.
Unfortunately, he's going to have a lot of kids there, so you might have to direct those kids. And
I
not
think it'll
freak
be
out that they're
funny
touching
if
it.
they, you know what I want to see? He puts a piece on and they take it off. He puts a piece
No,
on.
no, I want
wanna
to
see that.
I want to see if he can manage a group of 9-year-olds to put that together. I think that would be awesome.
Jeff's 12.
No, he's not.
Split the model in 2 and race. Jeff versus the kids.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I know that my kids will
Oh,
be
that's
here.
a good idea. And
That's
and
a great idea. You want me to order another one?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2? Can I order 2? I already
how
ordered
much
one.
are they?
$200.
Oh yeah, get another.
I'll get another one. Okay, so we're gonna get 2. So Jeff, it's gonna be you against the kids. Your kids are gonna be here, right?
My children will.
Richard Ya
Absolute
is
question.
evil. He says, make Sarah babysit the kids. She loves kids. That is evil.
No, I've
That is
already
evil.
assigned that to Jeff Needles and Patrick. Patrick Delahanty and Jeff Needles are babysitting.
I think
You're
that
so cool with kids, Patrick.
we're going to make Sarah babysit any cats that are here, and that will be guaranteed to be good.
That'll be Ozzy. He's the only one closest to a cat. Look, he's dead on
So
the chair.
Logan wants to know when the best 8 hours to watch will be, Karsten,
Yes.
because he
Why
wants
do
to
you say
get
it's
some
going to be
sleep.
my 8 hours? What are your 8 hours, Karsten?
My 8 hours are by default in the middle, but I'm going to be here for the whole thing.
But who's going to be starting at 4 a.m. besides me and Leo
Anthony.
and Bunny Slippers?
Anthony and I will also be there.
Okay. And then you take the second leg and Chad takes
And
the
yes,
last leg.
Gam Gam will be
Yes.
there,
Okay.
and I will be playing Game of Geeks on this. We're
gonna
going
be
to have
playing lots
Dungeons
of
and
games.
Dragons. We're going to have a Minecraft server. We're going to have a lot of stuff going on. So there'll be lots of ways. Even if you're at home, you can participate. Don't worry.
This starts at 4 a.m. on New Year's Eve.
Gam Gam is going to be there, right?
It's going to be fun. I guess I'm getting up with Leo at 3:45. Because I will brush my hair and show up in my pajamas. I don't need makeup for this. It's going to be fun.
I thought of something that we should do, and I forgot what it was now.
So the other thing I do want to touch base with Karsten, not to shift topics, but I'm trying to, get the hams going. But I want to talk about CES coverage. I've had a lot of people
Yes,
ask
what are
about
we
CES
doing?
coverage.
Yeah.
So I just want to know from you, what's an update of what's going on at CES?
Well, I know in previous years, TWiT has had a whole big, multi-host.
We didn't do
presence
that
at-
last
at
year,
CES. This year, we're going for quality over quantity.
All right.
Great.
Basically, Padre and I are going to go to CES, and we are going to find just the best things at CES and cover those things.
The top 100, maybe they won't even be top 100. Maybe the top 50 products at CES.
Right.
Whatever the best products are.
I mean, it may be the top 3, but we've decided
It'll be
that's
more
what
than
we
3,
wanna do.
probably. Somewhere between 3 and 100. I hope it's more
In
than
that
3.
range.
I'm kidding. I mean,
But you're right. Whatever it
needs to
is,
be whatever it is
And
what the
that's
list
it.
is
You're
gonna
not
be.
going to see anything that's not important, that's not the best,
We're
because
not targeting
a
a
lot
number.
of what's at CES is crap,
Right.
let's face it. Now, I should say that if you are a big CES junkie, Callie Lewis and Renee Ritchie they're getting our old South Hall booth.
Great.
Geekbeat TV, along with iMore and their partners, are going to do a booth there, and they're going to have a lot of coverage. So there will be, and you know what? At this point, everybody and their brother covers CES.
Right.
So we're just going to try to do something a little different. The other thing that's different is that Mike Elgan isn't joining us till right before then, so he's not involved this year. Next year, it might be a different matter if Mike decides that, as news director, we want to do something different. But I think this is something we came up with after last year, that the best thing is figure out what the best products are, hit those, and get out.
Well, yeah, and so something I want to add to this, just because I wanted to tie this in, is that Leo's going to be keynoting at New Media Expo this year. So Padre and Karsten are going to start getting, coverage at CES on Sunday and Monday. Leo's going to be at New Media Expo on Monday.
On Monday, right? Yeah.
January 6th. He's going to keynote at 9 a.m. We are carrying the stream, so you can watch it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get whatever coverage they have to that point, and I'm taking it home with me when we fly out Monday night. So we'll be able to start putting CES coverage out on Tuesday morning.
Good.
Did you hear me, Tony?
Yep.
Tuesday morning?
Yeah, we're going to the special CES unveiled presentation they have on
That's Sunday
Sunday
night,
night, which
yeah.
is kind of just for the press to get a look at some of the best things that are going to be on the show floor.
Right.
So that's what we'll be seeing first.
And Dick is also going to be at CES, and he's going to be recording for the Gizwiz for the next week, as well as Scott Wilkinson.
He's
He'll
gonna
be
do Home
there
Theater Geeks,
to
do all
Home
the
Theater Geeks
TVs.
that we're going to put out the next week. This is kind of similar to the format we did last year.
Yeah. I promise you won't feel like you missed anything.
I don't think you will. I think it's going to be the right amount of coverage, and but this is why Karsten is really busy. He's going to go from this New Year's Eve show, and by the way, he has a day job, to this. So it's going to be a busy, holiday weekend.
Yes.
What else? Because we're almost
Okay.
we're out of time.
So I'll leave New Media Expo and CES and bye, Karsten.
Thank you, Karsten.
Thank you. I do want to make a couple more announcements, and then we'll turn
Okay.
it over. We have decided we are going to start transcribing our podcasts again, and that will start
That's
in January.
really good news.
I'm really excited. We've worked
All
it
of the
out.
shows?
No, we're going to do. We're going to start off with 11 shows.
Wow.
We're going to
a
do,
lot.
of course, TWiT, Mac Break Weekly, Windows Weekly, This Week in Google, Security Now, Know How, Coding 101, This Week in Law, and Before You Buy. So we're going to start out, it's going to be a test to see how this goes and how we like the quality of it. We're going to start off with the marquee shows, and then we'll consider what other shows we want to add. We might want to do Tech News Tonight, maybe TNT as well. So I want to talk to Mike about that
Good.
when he comes in.
Good.
So we're really super excited. We'll have pages for this. We'll have a link on the wiki, but we don't want to post them in both places because we don't want Google to kick us off for
Right.
having it posted too many places for search. The other couple of updates we have is that our bobbleheads will be here tomorrow. So if you all want a Leo bobblehead, our store should be up this weekend. The bobblehead will cost $30.
That's good.
However,
It's cheap.
Shipping will be based on where you're at. So
Overseas shipping is expensive because of tariffs.
I
and so
couldn't
forth.
package in the shipping on this one.
Okay.
So shipping will be set based on where you're at. And we're only going to have 250 available. And if we sell those out, we're going to set up a pre-order thing, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, I just want to throw that out there.
Good.
And so the last couple of things, and we'll dive in deeper, is all the platforms we're trying to get on. We are also going to be redesigning the TWiT website. That kicks off in April. We're doing a full
Lullabot, who did the Tech
powwow
Guys
with
site.
Lullabot
They're
on
very
this,
good.
and then we're going to start the actual website redesign, and my goal is to have it launched in summer. So we're super excited about that, and we're going to be looking for input from everybody as to what they want to see, and the changes they want to see, what they like, what they don't like. So we definitely want some feedback from our audience, and we put it on the TWiT survey, what they want to see, what they like, what they don't like about the website. and we're working on a ton of other things. I think this is the longest Insight to It we've ever done.
It is. I'm going to wrap by saying that the reason somebody said, "How do they afford this?" We are an unusual company. We're completely bootstrapped, no investment capital from anybody. What we make, we invest back into the network. So we thank our advertisers. That's how we make money, and you, the donors, people who bought bricks, people who donate on PayPal. That's what keeps us afloat. And the good news is that we're doing quite well because you patronize the advertisers. Thank you. And they come back. And so that's very good news. It means that we can build this network based on your support. And you can help us one more way by telling a friend, telling your family, telling anybody you think would enjoy what we do about TWiT. You know, spread the word. You're our best ambassadors. We don't do any marketing. We don't do any advertising to the outside world. Lisa wants to change that, and I'm sure we will in time.
We're going to do some marketing.
The best marketing is, frankly, you telling your friends.
Absolutely.
And saying, you know, watch TWiT. Isn't this great?
But wait till you see my
thank you.
billboard in Silicon Valley.
We're going to do car wraps. I don't know what we're going to do. But anyway, thank you, everybody. Ham Nation
I like
is
the
up
TWiT
next.
blimp idea. That's excellent.
That's a good idea.